And good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Damani Lewis.
And I'm Susanna Black. You can see at my house as we continue to practice social distancing to make sure that we are all safe and healthy. And you know, that's the point of the statewide stay-at-home order that starts today at 5 o'clock. In the last 15 minutes, Macy's announced that it will furlough 130,000 people starting this week. We're asking if any are in our area. Meanwhile, FEMA is working with manufacturers around the globe to get critical supplies and protective gear handed out in the U.S. CNN reporting there are at least 140,000 cases of coronavirus in the U.S. and more than 2,400 deaths. So far in North Carolina, 6 people have died from the virus. There are now more than 1,300 known infections across our state. This map now shows you the number of cases per 10,000 people. The state is now saying Mecklenburg County has 382 cases. That's 3 per 10,000 people in the county.
And South Carolina is now reporting 774 active cases. Now that's up from more than 100 from Saturday, 660 cases. 16 people have died in the state from the virus. And with that statewide order just hours from being in effect, more people have questions like what businesses will stay open?
Yeah, there's certainly a big gray area that customers and businesses are trying to navigate. Let's get to Channel 9's Dayshawn Brown. She's joining us live. And Dayshawn, this is still one of the big topics that we're getting asked about.
Susanna, yeah, especially when it comes down to what is an essential business. I did start working my way through that state order, and I'll break down a few of the key factors that are outlined there. A few of the obvious ones are places like grocery stores and gas stations. Those will remain open through the life of this order. But we've received a lot of questions from viewers about some businesses that are not so obvious. Take construction, for example. According to the state's order, these projects are allowed to continue. Construction is listed there as an essential infrastructure operation. Or what about hardware stores like Lowe's or Home Depot? The state order says that these can remain open as well, and it mentions essential supplies they sell that help with the upkeep of your home. Over the weekend, we noticed a few of these stores have drawn very large crowds. So coming up tonight at 5 and 6 on Eyewitness News, I will break down some of those resources that are available to employees who are not as sure if where they work is essential. Susanna?
All right, really looking forward to that report. Our Dayshawn Brown live for us. Thank you. And Mecklenburg County is already under a stay-at-home order, but health officials say too many people are not taking this seriously.
That's absolutely right. And we saw a lot of people out at Freedom Park enjoying the weather yesterday. Take a look here. Many of them were practicing social distancing, but we saw other groups too close together. Check this out. We also saw a pickup basketball game at Camp Green Park. Those aren't allowed under the county's stay-at-home order. The county's health director said she's alarmed by how many people aren't following the orders.
I personally, as an individual that lives in this community, am extremely concerned about what's happening here and doing everything that I can as a professional to try to help prevent more deaths.
And Harris says the weekend was a test to see if the county needs to take more drastic measures. They won't decide on anything new without talking to other county leaders first. And in the past hour, we heard from a state doctor about their strategy for testing patients.
Yeah, reporter Jason Stujanki joins us live right now. And Jason, testing is such an important topic. I mean, without it, we don't know if the number of cases we're seeing are accurate.
Yeah, Susanna, that's right. And you want to not just track it, but you want to use that information to obviously pick up on any patterns with the disease. So the state doctor, the state epidemiologist, Dr. Zach Moore, he was very clear about this. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said, we're at the very beginning of this. It's a very new virus. Everything's evolving rapidly. He said that things are, and these are his words, ramping up. He said doctors refer to this as the acceleration phase. So obviously, we're still going up. We're not plateaued yet. Who knows how long that will take. But he said because it's a new virus, because things are changing so quickly, and because we're trying to get a handle on this, the state is starting to track it a few different ways. It uses the flu as a model. So that's what they're basing a lot of their strategy on. And there are really 3 things I took away from it, 3 different techniques they're using. they're going to be compiling lab results. That's the big obvious one. But they also want to gather information from hospitals about people who come in, what symptoms they're seeing. And they also want to look at demographics like where patients live and how old they are.
Laboratory confirmed case counts are never the whole picture. They're important to track, but people need to realize that this applies to them, whether or not there's a case that's been laboratory confirmed where they live.
And the big problem with any kind of scientific work like this is it's so hard to capture every single patient. You have to think there are a lot of patients who go to the doctor, there are a lot who get caught up in the system in a good way, but there are also a lot of patients who may not really be showing any symptoms. They may not realize they're sick, or they may realize they're sick and decide not to go to the doctor. So the state's always trying to find a better way, Damani, to pick up on those people so you get a very accurate count.
Jason Stujanking reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much for that, Jason. Well, many people are trying to escape the confines of their home by going to the mountains.
Yeah, but officials there are saying if you don't know what you're doing, please stay home. Channel 9's Dave Faraday joins us live. He's on the west side of Linville Gorge to show us how the county's resources are actually being depleted by people who are taking unfamiliar routes. Dave.
Susanna, if you look behind me, you can see why so many people visit the Linville Gorge each year. But Burke County says because of the rugged terrain here, there's actually about 75 rescues each year. And right now is not the time to be tying up emergency personnel. Take a look at some of this video that was shot this morning as part of the emergency declaration here in Burke County, along with cities across of Burke County. They're asking folks to avoid all outdoor activity that is considered high risk. That includes rock climbing, swiftwater rafting, rappelling, and zip lining. They don't want people camping in the Linville Gorge Wilderness Area or the Pisgah National Forest overnight. Also on the list is hiking in unfamiliar areas. The concern here is that the terrain is so rugged, inexperienced hikers could be injured. First responders tell me a single search and rescue on one of the hundreds of miles of trails here can last from just a few hours to more than a day.
It takes numerous departments, counties, even respond from maybe neighboring states to just very rigorous and rugged terrain, straight up, straight down terrain.
Burke County says if you are going to come to the Linville Gorge for a hike, make sure it is a day hike, Susanna, and also make sure it's on one of the trails that you know. Back to you.
All right, Dave, good information there from first responders. Thank you.
Well, North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis gave an update on what he and the federal government are doing. More than 1,000 people called into the phone town hall. He touched on the current testing in the United States and in North Carolina. He said he also was watching to make sure supply chains were working, especially those for medical supplies. He also announced when you could see your stimulus check arrive.
They will be distributed through the IRS, authorized by the Treasury, over the next couple of weeks. It will probably take 3 or 4 weeks before we'll start seeing a steady stream of checks going out.
Well, he said it's important for people to stay at home to help flatten the curve.